Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm going to talk to you about 10 items that sold pretty quickly for me, and they happen to be items that you can be finding out there. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from the inside of my office, and I'm pulled to the side because I'm going to be showing you some cool pictures of some items that I found relatively recently that I sold local avenues, or I sold it on eBay for really good profits. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and if you do want to learn some cool used items to resell for profit, you can check out my free guide. That'll be on the first link down below and the first pinned comment down below. Now, these items I'm going to show you are predominantly kind of outdoorsy related items, and I do that because I also have a really cool thing coming out next week. My newest product, Outdoors Items to Bucks, is going to be coming out next week, which should be really cool. But that's aside the fact. I want to show you these things real quick, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I got my computer right here, hopefully you can see it, and I'm going to be showing you these pictures as I remember what I paid for these items and what they sold for. So some are really cool, and I want you guys to really look hard at your thrift stores and your garage sales for these items, because eventually they will pop up. The very first item is an Indo board. Now, I've flipped 2 Indo boards in the past 3 months, and there's something that just, they come and they go, and they usually sell pretty fast. Now, the way I move these things is local avenues only. When I find these things, it's typically at thrift stores and maybe at garage sales, but usually people at garage sales that are outdoorsy-ish, they kind of know an Indo board and what they remember paying for it, so it's kind of harder to get a deal at a garage sale for that. But anyway, so this is what an Indo board looks like. It's a balance trainer, which is really good if you're trying to build up your core muscles. These are the muscles that are incorporated with things like surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, things like that, wakeboarding, wake surfing. I mean, it's all the kind of same core strength, and so people really like these things. And the best part about it is it's only 2 pieces. So when you find an Indo board, make sure you have 2 pieces. If you find the roller, look for the top part that balances on it like a seesaw. And if you find the top part, make sure you locate the roller. So the most current one that I found was actually at a Goodwill. I found it for around $7 out the door. And I remember finding the roller first. Actually, no, I found the top part first. And I asked the guy, like, hey, there's usually a cylindrical looking thing that is the actual fulcrum point or the roller part of it. And he went in the back and actually located it and brought it out for me. So anyways, I bought it for $7, and on average, these things are going to resell locally for around 80. Okay, so it's a really good thing to resell, and you should definitely be looking for Indo boards. Another cool thing that's balance oriented are BOSU balls. Now, BOSU balls are really cool because for some reason I find these more at garage sales, and when I find them, they're typically like $5, $3, $2. I have flipped 2 or 3 in the past 3 months as well. These sell locally. Usually when you find them, you don't find the pump that goes with it, but then again, they're usually always pumped to a decent spec to where they still function. So a BOSU ball is basically like a balance trainer as well, except these you can do push-ups off of them, you can jump on them and do bodyweight squats, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, and even some sort of plyometric movements off of BOSU balls. They're very easy to resell locally, and typically they'll sell between $40 and $50. So be on the lookout for BOSU balls. They're really cool, and you'll see them in just about every gym out there. Okay, so here I am looking at something that did take a little bit longer to resell, and I think it's because at first when I had it, I labeled it as a adult punching bag, which it wasn't. It was definitely a kids or child or youth standing punching bag, right? So it's called a Versus V-Spar 1, and yeah, originally I thought it was an adult one, and then I started beating on it, and it would just flop down and never come back up, which really sucked. And I was like, something's wrong with this thing. Anyways, I found this thing at a Savers, and I believe it was like $10 out the door. I ended up selling it for around 50. So here are the ads, and as I show you some of these things in this this show, you'll see the ads, the actual like local ads that I put up for these items. Yeah, but be on the lookout for these kind of punching bags. And they are standing punching bags, which is cool because you can also get the other style punching bags, which have the chains, and those are great as well. They are a lot heavier, and when you locate them, typically they resell between like 40 and around $80, depending on how much weight is on them, because there's some small ones, mediums, and large ones, and plus there's some with like the canvas exterior and some with a really interesting kind of vinyl outside to it. So there's a bunch of variables to it, but typically Century and Everlast will be your brands that you want to mess with. This one right here, Century V-Spar, is a youth, kids, child kind of kicking sparring bag basically, and it's a floor one. All right, onto a really cool flip. This actually is a helmet. This actually is in the new guide, but this helmet right here I bought off of Facebook Marketplace for $20. So I think it was asking 20, and I was like, oh my gosh, like if I don't pop on this for 20, I'm not even gonna talk this one down. If I don't get this thing for 20, like I am missing out basically on around $100. This is a Bell Super 2R with MIPS, okay? So the MIPS is this kind of like inner membrane that shifts around. It's a yellow membrane, and it allows, when an impact happens, it allows for some slippage to occur within the helmet, which thus doesn't allow like the head to kind of stick to a portion of the helmet when there's some impact, as I understand it. So anyways, this is a Bell Super 2R with MIPS. So they make Super 2Rs without MIPS, and they're a little bit less, but the ones with MIPS, and it's always that yellow interior kind of slidey kind of, you know, membrane, I guess. And you can find these on snowboarding helmets and other biking helmets and this and that. MIPS is basically like the next level of helmets that you can buy, and they're typically a little bit more pricey. So a Bell Super 2R with MIPS should sell for over $100. This one ended up selling for $125 on eBay. And plus the Super 2R is cool because if you can find it with the chin bar, and that's one of the reasons why I was like, oh, I'm gonna pay 20 bucks for this thing immediately, because it has a detachable chin bar, but you can buy it without. All right, so you can buy it without with the MIPS, and it's somewhere around like 80 to 120 already. Then you get the chin bar, especially if it's a color-coded chin bar. Now you're talking, you know, some really good resale money. But the Bell Super 2R is a really good enduro kind of mountain biking helmet. It's not quite classified as downhill because of the removable chin guard. And true downhill, like you're gonna get a full face helmet with zero, like it's like a whole helmet that's full face, no removability of the chin bar. But these are cool because it allows people to go to those bike parks and put the chin bar on and do some downhill runs, you know, leisurely kind of downhill runs. And then when they go to their normal trails at their hometown, they can take the chin bar off, and it's a little bit more, you know, reasonable to do it everyday kind of thing. Look out for Bell Super 2R or any kind of detachable chin bar type mountain biking helmet. All right, next item, kind of a funny item real quick. So I found these two bike shorts at a Salvation Army. I think I paid around $2 a piece for them. Ended up selling them to a random guy that tried them on in a public park that was right outside of Barton Springs. So I'm sitting there getting a good tan, and the dude's like, I'm here. So I bring the shorts out, and he decides to put them on like right there and try them out. That's besides the fact. Sold them for 30 bucks, and bike shorts are definitely some of those things that are, you know, neat. People that are road cyclists or whatever, they need that padding and they need that spandex kind of like, you know, fast material on their legs instead of baggy shorts or something like that. So cycling shorts are cool because they provide less abrasion. They're more aerodynamic, and the good ones are always going to have a really good interior padding to the seat area. Definitely be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Really good brands: Capo, Rafa, Perlazumi, you have Castelli. Those are some good ones you can start looking out for. But I sold both of these for you know, 30 bucks locally, so something to look out for. All right, let's talk about a kind of a non-typical win. On Facebook Marketplace, I sourced 3 of these things. These are basically storm headlights or headlamps, more for like spelunking, caving, rock climbing, just outdoor hiking in general. And this is pretty much one of the best brands when it deals with these kind of lights outside of Petzl or Petzl, whatever they call it. So Black Diamond's a really good brand. These 3 were brand new, and I managed to get all 3 of them for 50 bucks, and then I sold each one on FBA Amazon for 50 bucks. So I ended up making, all said and done, somewhere around 75 or 80 when all the fees were all taken into account. But yeah, something that I found, because new items on Facebook Marketplace are something that you see every now and then. All you gotta do is put, you know, new in box, new, NIB, won in contest, and those kind of terms really help you out when you're looking at Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and you're trying to find some really cool deals like this. All right, big hitter. This happened 4 months ago or something like that, maybe 3 months ago. I found this at a end of the day garage sale. I wrote about this in the Cheddar Report, maybe Cheddar Report number 5. And this is a rowing machine, right? Made by Concept. So it's a Concept 2 rowing machine with a PM2 head unit, kind of like the computer. And that's kind of how you can tell whether they're like the really good ones or the really kind of like junky ones. So they're like PM1, PM2, all the way up to like PM5 or maybe even PM6 by now. It's the computer display that the rowing person is going to be looking at. It's going to measure watts and all kinds of stuff like, you know, your calories burned. And now some of the top ones do way more than that. That's aside the fact. CrossFit gyms love these rowing machines. They're extremely dependable. They break down in the middle as well. And this one I found at an estate sale, kind of garage sale-ish kind of thing, at the very end of the day on a Saturday. And I had sold it within one day, the very next day, for $500. So I paid $50 for it and sold it for $500. That was a really good score. Yeah, usually when I come across things like that, it just goes really fast, especially if it's a concept brand rowing machine. So look for that. There are other rowing machines out there. I covered this in the new guide as well. You'll see some other things, but that is a really good sale. Last but not least, you should look out for bike racks that are hitch mounted. They're really cool, especially the platform style, which is what you're seeing here in this picture. It's actually my personal rack that I wanted to show you guys, but all the stickers on it. It's called a Thule T2. It's a really good rack. They make Thule T2 or Thule XTs now, and XT Pros and T2 Pros, whatever. But either way, these are platform-based racks. So basically, if you have an SUV or a car with a 1 or 2 inch receiver in the back, you can get platform racks that, you know, go right into there, and they allow your bike to stand there and stay rested in a platform. And typically the way that that happens is because there's a swing arm that comes up and it anchors itself right down on the frame. And yeah, so they're very popular. People love these types of racks these days. Like this rack is pretty much all the rage, is a platform-based rack. There's some brands that you're going to want to know about: Yakima, Thule. I wouldn't so much say SARS too much, but the last brand that you should definitely be on the lookout for that's a little bit more premium is Kuat, K-U-A-T. Platform racks are really cool. If you see them at a garage sale and you're dealing with one of those 3 brands, I mean, gosh, if it's $50 or below, you should be popping. I did buy a bike rack last weekend for $60, had all the locks with it and everything like that. And once the weather gets a little bit better here in Austin, Texas, I'll be aiming for the 120, 150 mark on that bike rack. Should be a pretty easy sale. But yeah, platform bike racks are really cool, and something that you can be looking out for right there to make some easy cheddar. That's pretty much the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some, you know, really good tips out of this, and maybe just get you a little bit more confident in reselling these types of items. So if you do me a favor, if you could hit the like button down below and leave me a comment of maybe like what's your favorite thing, or maybe you've flipped something kind of like these things that you're seeing, please put it in a comment down below. I'd love to read it, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.